Hi everybody, thank you for joining me and welcome to my channel. I'm excited to be here with you guys today to talk about Venus and Saturn at the North Node. We already did a video about this a few days ago and I'll link the video in the description. The video was about basically the technical side of this transit. But we get another iteration of this happening now, so I thought I would come back and do an all sign together. So I'm excited to do this and tell you a little bit. I have a couple updates. In the video, I promised you guys to tell you how this is connected to Jesus, so I didn't do that. So I'll tell you guys now in today's video, and we're going to go over the transits. I have another sticker if you're curious what that is, and we'll go over that today. Okay, so I'm trying something different today, and that is basically I want to pop up like a chart. I found like the notebook. So I look at YouTube on my computer, and on my computer everything looked great, but then I switched over to my phone, and on my phone this was not clear. I was curious if you guys can tell me in the comments if my notes are clear, if you're using a phone, and if the notes are clear. If they're not clear, I have a solution today. I'm going to I have like these images available. So what I'm going to do is open the book and work from the book today. But then at the end of each section, I'll show you the next image. I would prefer not to use these images, but I was concerned that people who are just watching with their phone can't see the video. So anyway, hey girl, hey, that's my little solution. So today we're going to talk about the history that we mentioned before. And I'm going to go into it. I have an update. We're going to go over this week's astrology with regard to these transits of Saturn, Pisces at the North Node. It's kind of a special transit, and it's not going to happen again in our lifetime. So I wanted to do an all sign for it. I think it's an interesting energy, and I think you guys will like it. There's a lot of energies around us that are, I don't know, the energies are somewhat, hold on, I'm going to fix my mic. There we go. Sorry, hold on. I'll turn it down. Okay. So the energies are somewhat hit and miss right now. There's some kind of challenging energies around, but there's some really good energies. This is one of it. So I want to do a video focusing on that. And then we're going to do the all sign. Oh yeah, can't forget Jesus. Okay, so let's start. I like these notes. They keep me on point. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm much more, I use the computer proficiently, right? But I like writing by hand. So I have tons of notebooks like this where I write by hand a lot of different things. And so it's easier for me when it's here because then I can read it. Reading from the computer can sometimes mess me up. Okay, so last time I kind of misspoke or misinformed you guys a bit, so I want to give you fix what I said. So I said this never happens, that Venus and Saturn and the North Node are together. That's sort of true, but kind of not. So it does happen periodically. It never happens this close together. So I am telling you the truth, but I wasn't specific enough. So this kind of conjunction where we have Saturn, Venus, and the North Node together, very, very rare. I'll show you guys in a minute. And this precise at this degree, rare, very rare. So they're never that close. And the weird thing that's going to happen is that it's not going to repeat for 500 years, at least, maybe more. I didn't look past 500 years. I stopped looking. But the strange thing, and I think it's a mathematical thing, where it was happening more frequently before, like 1,000 years ago. And now it's becoming more and more rare, and that probably has to do with the interaction of the Saturn cycle with the North Node cycle. The Venus cycle will be in this position every year, so it would interact with either of the two other transits if they were in Pisces. So I think it has to do with the interaction of Saturn and North Node. So there's no other, syzygy or conjunction of these three for at least 500 years. So there were 3 dates, and I'm not going to switch the chart because it's going to make it go slow. There are 3 dates that are sort of close, so I'll tell you, you can look it up yourself. 406 CE, and I looked back to 500 BCE. So if you're curious, my time frame, it was 500 BCE to 2500 CE. So I looked back to 406 CE, and there was a conjunction. They passed through the node about 2 weeks apart, so they weren't that close together. This was at 20 degrees Pisces, give or take a degree. So kind of close, but not as close as we are now. 1170 CE, all common era, nothing in BCE, at 4 degrees Pisces. So the other very special thing about this transit that's happening now is that they're passing through the node, and Venus is turning exalted, and that's where they have their conjunction. So Venus has been at her exalted degree 3 times because of her retrograde, and that's what's so special about this one. So this other one from 1170 CE, it happened at 4 degrees Pisces. So it was 2 weeks apart as well, which means that Venus passed, or Saturn passed, I didn't write it down, 2 weeks before the other, so not as close as they are right now. And it's not at that exalted position, and that's special. And then 1877 CE, which is the last time this happened until now. And that was at 10 degrees of Pisces. And again, two weeks between the point at which Venus and Saturn passed the North Node. So as you can tell, I don't know if you can tell, but between now and 1877, this hasn't happened. But before it was happening more frequently, that probably has to do with the overlapping of Saturn and North Node cycles. Okay, so there is one twin energy, and it's 1113 CE at 26 degrees Pisces. So very, very close to where it is now. And so I rounded up, and this week's transit through the North Node is actually closer than this one in 1113 CE, and they were 7 days apart. But 2025 has that date beat, and they're passing 6 days apart through the North Node. We win. Venus passes through the North Node and turns out exalted. And if you're new to astrology and don't know what I'm talking about, I talked about all of this in a video. It's going to be in the description. I don't think I linked it there. I explained what's going on astrologically, like what is the North Node and what does Venus passing through mean. We're going to talk about it again now, but just in case you're like, whoa, what's all that? Basically, both Saturn and Venus are passing through the North Node, and this is a momentous occasion because they're coming out at 27 degrees Pisces, which is the exalted degree for Venus, and this is also linked to a massive conjunction that happened in 2022 between Neptune and Jupiter and Venus. And so this is the last time there's this massive, significant event in Pisces for a long time. And those events are linked from 2022 to now. It's just very beautiful. The exalted degree for a transit is a special degree at which it works better. So it's a very nice energy. So I promised you guys the different charts. Today's going to have, okay, so there we go. I'm going to show you guys this. It's going to, I don't like the switching, but let me know in the comments how you like the switching. This is for people who are on the phone and may not be able to see the book. Okay, so let's talk about the first the first event. Since you guys are reading this sheet, I will switch over to show you the first event. The first event passed already. It's April 14th. And this is my notes. And I'll show you the notes for this if you're on the phone at the end of this section. And so this was when Saturn passed the North Node in Pisces on April 14th. And so Saturn in Pisces has been in Pisces since 2023, and its conjunction with the North Node is special. Here are some top level ways of thinking of it. It's a wake-up call, so it's a time when you realize what is important. Sometimes it's considered like a negative thing, but I don't think it's negative. It's actually a good thing that's inspiring you to hone in on what's important. I think that a lot of you will be making conclusions at this time about life and deriving from life experiences, life lessons. This is a time when you are making massive decisions about your life. So pay attention to what's happening all around you. This is a time of karmic realignment when Saturn and the North Node are together. If you've been off your path, there's nothing like a Saturn North Node conjunction to get you going in the right direction. Careful what you choose though, because there is going to be far-reaching ramifications. We're going to be building Dharma here for a period of, 5 years, 6 years. It's going to be a while. It's a time, so if you're Christian, it's kind of a time like confession or penance, or Catholic, right? So you go to confession to share your guilt with the priest, and then you promise not to do it again. So this is basically where you should check in with yourself and ask yourself, like, what did I do that could be tweaked for better, and what can I do better? And then stick to the plan, because the decisions you make have these consequences and ripple effects in your life. It's a pattern for 11 years. This is because the Saturn and the North Node will join again in Aries, in Leo in 11 years time. So that's going to be 2036. That's going to be the next reset. That's going to be a big one too. So we'll talk about it later. Some things that may happen during this time. You may feel as though you've outgrown past events. So things that you loved before suddenly don't resonate. You might be feeling trapped in a situation, a relationship, your marriage. You might be feeling trapped, just essentially workplace situation, and you might feel the urge to break away. And that's where Uranus will be huge for this transit. It's the appearance of mentors. This is so important. Important people, especially older people, because Saturn is in Pisces, may show up in your life. Welcome them. When people are showing up in your life right now, they are good. So whoever you're interacting with, there is a good resonance coming from their energy. Since this actually happened a few days ago, but the transit itself is lasting till the 24th. We're like in a pressure cooker of this Saturn Pisces energy and Uranus. And so we're still with this energy now. So you might be feeling the need to isolate. If you feel the need to isolate, you should definitely honor those feelings. This is a time, and you'll see this again and again, people will commit to their dreams, whether it's a relationship or whether it's something that they want to do. They choose that dynamic, okay? So I'm going to play the next slide. I can figure out a different way of doing this, but oh shoot, okay. I have two for this one, so I'll show you this first one if you're watching, and I'll get the next page ready. So you guys can screenshot this if you're on the phone and you want, a copy of this. And then I will switch it now I have two for each section because they didn't fit. Okay. Okay, so here's the things that may happen. This is just a repeat of what I said, but maybe it will help you just to get organized or, figure out. It's a Saturn with the North Node is very much about like, okay, I need to go in this direction. This makes sense. Screw everything else. This is what matters. Okay, so now let's switch to the next section. So on April 20th, a lot's going on. First, we're going to talk about Venus and the North Node. So here we see Venus passing through the North Node for the third time. She passed through this North Node 3 times. I did a lot on Venus. I'm going to link the videos in the description. I actually made a playlist for Venus. So if you're curious what's going on with Venus and the North Node, they're really good videos. I like them a lot, so you can watch them there if you like. But for our intents and purposes, we have this is a moment when you're coming out of your shell. So this is very good for Venus. This is a great improvement for Venus now. So this is upwards and onwards. This is when you really step into your own, when you kind of really let your energy come out. It's an awakening of desire. So we all have dormant desires that we want to manifest, that we want to happen. During this transit, you may find that you're doing things that you've always wanted to do. It's a realignment for love. So anybody who is seeking love or trying to work through love circumstances with their partner, this is a time when things set straight. So for those of you who practice energy work, it's a little bit of a, how do I say this? It's a little bit of a tricky situation with energy work right now, because there are like the Pluto-Mars opposition is happening. So you're playing with big energy here, like an eclipse. But there are certain aspects of this, like these Piscean transits, that are super special. So it's a realignment for love. And so you can do energy work to set yourself right. If you've had a bad relationship or if you had bad luck in relationships, this is a time when you can seek what you truly want. In fact, what can appear for you is in front of you, energy appears of what you've always wanted, right? So these mentors appear with the Saturn, and with Venus, the kind of circumstances you want to be involved in should be reappearing in your life between now and the 24th. This is also a time when you're really walking away from past issues, closing the door on bad situations, difficult situations. Venus has done her retrograde, and so she's moving on. This is a great time for pregnancy, but again, the caveat of the Pluto-Mars opposition is a little bit rough, but I think that this is like, if you read tarot, this energy is very similar to the Trump energy. Like sometimes in astrology, we have like the minor arcana energy, and that has a lot to do with like, more free will kind of stuff, like us choosing what we're going to eat today, that kind of thing. And then there come the Trumps, right? Like the higher arcana with the big, I think we're in a moment of like the higher arcana is reigning supreme. We have big energy over us with this energy. Having said that, I do think that this energy, and we'll talk about Jesus in a moment, I think it's very sacred, and I think it has a resonance. I'm an atheist. I've told you guys this, but I respect other people's opinions and views. I think this energy is very special astrologically. So especially if you're like Christian or Abrahamic religions, I think there's something really nice happening here. And I think it's an echo from 2022. So there's connections here. So pregnancy, it seems good if we're just considering this Piscean energy. This is a time to let go of toxic relationships, not even one specific relationship, but rather whole relationship patterns. So if you have like a string of bad experiences of whatever. This is a time to let it go. You will be more resilient and you will be more self-protecting, which is great. This is a time for far-reaching consequences. So just like with Saturn, we're beginning a cycle here. It's going to echo out for a very long time. So pay attention to this. Because Venus, act with kindness and compassion towards others, and it's going to reverberate in a very nice way. So here are some things that can happen under the conjunction of Venus and North Node. And so essentially what we're doing, if you're new to astrology, we're considering all of these points separately to understand everything that's going on. So try to pick out of what I'm saying, what resonates or what's important for you. So again, meeting an important person. I think this could be a moment in which you meet someone, especially if you've been searching for love for a long time. Saturn almost suggests, for those of you who are maybe in your older age, if you've been looking for love for a long time, this might be the end of that spiritual journey. Not the end, but in the sense that you could meet someone. You might meet a loved one, a spiritual person, so it doesn't have to be a relationship, an important person that shows you a lot of love and compassion. This is also a time when people will be choosing marriage. So with Saturn, people assume that Saturn and Venus is going to be very reductive, but it can be the energy of, realizing what you truly want and choosing that. So it's a life bond sort of choice with Venus and the North Node. Saturn is there as well. If you're confused why I mentioned Saturn, it's all coming together. Okay, this is also a time in which if you're in a relationship, you could be moving forward in the relationship with someone who you're already in a relationship with. So you could be buying a house, moving in together, getting married. This is a time in which you need to pay attention. You will feel at this time the clarity of what you value, and you should follow those things very, very, very clearly, very, very with lots of self-awareness, right? So clarify. Things will emerge for you emotionally right now that are going to tell you what matters and what's important. Pay attention to those perceptions. They're telling you valuable things before life gets complicated and those perceptions start interacting with the world's demands, right? So you're getting a kernel of truth here about what really matters. It's a good time to reconcile also. So if you have problems in certain relationships and you've been wanting to reconnect, this is the time to do it. This is a time of seeing possibilities in relationships and igniting passion. For creative type people, this is the time, let's say that you've been wanting to work on something creative or create some art. This is a time when the right thing will emerge for you as the right choice or the right kind of thing to do. Okay, so let's switch over. I'm going to show you guys this for those of you who are on the phone, but do tell me how you're experiencing just seeing the notebook by itself. Okay, so let's go. Here you go. I'm gonna start the next one. The next one is for April 20th as well, and that's gonna be Uranus. So we're gonna talk about Uranus next, and I'm gonna show you the next slide. If this is too fast for you to read, just screenshot the screen so you can have this. Okay. I don't know if you guys like this. I don't like the switching between. I would probably need to change that, but I do like the book better. I don't do the book because I don't know how to do technical things. I do the book because I like it. I think it's old school. I think it's cool. Okay, so just write it down. And I'm not so don't have the nicest writing. Some people have the nicest writing too. But I try to do my best. My writing is actually horrible. This is me trying really hard. Okay, so April 20th, we're talking about Uranus because Uranus is going to be interacting with all of these positions. Uranus is in Taurus at 25 degrees, and this is called a sextile angle. It's a very important energy that opens up energy between different planets. I think, well, it's an opening sextile with the North Node, but it's a closing sextile with Venus and Saturn, which means that both Venus and Saturn are due for a refresh. I think Saturn's not going to be until 2031, something like that. Venus is going to be later this year. So closing sextile just means that in the last planetary cycle, the closing sextile is offering to the dynamic between whatever planet and Uranus, it's closing opportunities to finish up whatever has emerged since the last time they were together, just like a full moon and a new moon. Let me know if you want to know more about that. Okay, but I just want to go over the top level energies and do our all signs. So when we're talking about Venus, North Node, and Saturn, I didn't write Saturn, sextiling Uranus, this is the kind of energy that will emerge. So Uranus in Taurus brings in material changes, upheavals, changes, the way we do things. So you might experience radical realignment of how you live your life and what you choose to do because of material changes. Now, don't be afraid that this is going to be something bad. Think of it as you find the perfect car and you're like, I'm going to buy a car. It's sort of spur of the moment, unexpected things, shifting like the way you think about money possibly around, which opens up your opportunity for some kind of spiritual experience, a journey. So material conditions, or rethinking things through with a partner, realizing, sometimes people move in together because of material reasons. And especially in this economy, some people may move in together sooner than they would otherwise because of material pressures like the cost of rent or housing. And so this kind of energy could be like, hey, let's move in together to save money, So you might see some decisions like that. I love this one, and I don't really have time to go through a deep dive on this. I would be happy to talk about it another time if you're interested. But emotional deconditioning, a lot that's been coming up for us in our messages is how we are conditioned by our environment to have certain beliefs that sometimes work against our best interest. And so in this energy, Uranus in Taurus allows you to kind of see things from outside or critically, and allows you to kind of decondition yourself and start seeing things in a different way, in a different light. This is a time of breaking through inhibitions, which allows you to be more flexible and change things. This isn't just Uranus, because Saturn in Pisces, and I did a video on this explaining this, but for our purposes, Saturn in Pisces is ready to let go of certain structures at the end of its transit in Pisces. So it's really ready to move on and go do something else, right? In Aries, it's ready to finish that 30-year cycle. And so, breaking down inhibitions, and emotional I don't remember. Emotional deconditioning, or ready to move on and start a new chapter in your life, okay? Decisive steps towards love, same kind of thing. You're ready to kind of change. People are more flexible. They're more willing to take the next step. Sometimes some monetary reasons may be a motivating thing, but that's not a bad thing. It's just people are reconsidering money with Uranus and Taurus. Passion, again, inspires creativity. This is like, I see a lot of people taking chances in love, in art, in all of these different things, seeing the possibility. This is when people take leaps of faith. Again, there's other transits now that could put into question whether it's the best time to do it, but it is in and of itself a sacred moment. It's only going to happen once in your life. And so if you really feel like you need to pursue something, then you should do it. Okay, so here's some things that may happen. You may change your home, car, or job, so suddenly it doesn't fit the right way. You may find that there's a sense of urgency to do certain things. You may bump into an important person. So literally, like, walk into someone, spark up conversation, that kind of thing. Important people are around you. Pay attention to your surroundings. There's breakthroughs in art here. For those of you, there's several of you who are dancers, who are like artists who dance. Exploration of space with your bodies, or yogis, you know, all of that is right now like breaking new ground in your spatial awareness with your body. Okay, so this is what I was thinking of, you know, going on a retreat or a romantic getaway. So you may take the money, you know, you find money somewhere and you're like, I'm gonna go and have this spiritual moment, maybe by yourself or maybe with a significant other. It's a time to free your mind. So Uranus allows that. It's kind of a catalyst that allows you to free your mind and break down walls, all of that good stuff. So I'm going to show you the 2 slides and then we're going to do the last one. Uranus. So Uranus is great. Uranus creates a lot of change and transformation. And then in a few days, we're going to have the next event. And that's going to be the last one on April 24th, 2025. And I have 2 for Uranus too, so I'm going to switch it up now. So take your screenshot if you need to. Uranus. Okay, so there's the second one. Okay, so here is our third date or 4th astrological event. So think of it as a series of energies from the 14th through the 24th. Venus and Saturn are traveling together. This is because Venus was retrograde, and when she changes direction, when she turns direct, she's traveling slower for a period of time. That's why a fast-moving transit like Venus can go slow enough for Saturn to keep up with. But what we see in the chart is the moon enters Pisces on the 24th, and Venus reaches the 27th degree, which is that exalted degree that I told you about. So not only is Venus and Saturn joining together on that day, on the exalted degree, but the moon is there. It's very, very beautiful, and it's very nurturing energy. Okay, so I'm watching the time, so let's go through what it means. If you want to know more, check out my Venus playlist in the description or ask me in the comments. So the energy of Venus and Saturn in Pisces together has to do with commitment to what you want and what you love. Someone made a comment that this is a very sad transit. I suppose sad things can happen to people under this transit in certain respects in certain charts, but I do want to think of it as a positive transit, a transit that crystallizes emotions. That's what whenever I can use the word crystallize, I'm here for it. So it's a moment in which the things that you desire with what's feasible and what's available to you manifest, right? So this is when reality crystallizes around you, and this is a great point of manifestation. But again, there's that Pluto-Mars opposition squaring the sun, so I'm not sure if that's such a great time. I think sacred things happen under this transit in Pisces, but in terms of like getting out there and doing magical things, I would warn you, unless you know exactly what you're doing metaphysically, right? It's a very kind of, because you're playing with like big energy here, so you can set things in motion that will have far-reaching implications. Okay, so commitment to what you love, who you love. This is commitment, including marriage. Emotional crystallization. This is like taking all the life experiences that you had in your life and coming to some kind of conclusion emotionally and realizing like, this is what's important for me and this is what I love. This is a time when you will adjust your boundaries, and this is where people may get hurt because we're all adjusting boundaries, and so that may be uncomfortable in certain situations. This is a time when you refine your art. So think of not only making art, but making it better. A good example is my little chart here that I'm showing you guys, this guy. It's like, we're working on it. It's not quite there. We're trying to make it better for you and trying to make it fit, So refining art until you like it. My new videos, by the way, they're not so new. Somebody got cross with me for making videos, like the short 30-minute videos that I've been making. And they tried to imply that I was like doing something I wasn't. I've been making these videos, I found, for a long time, but the example I found was 2021, and it was like literally the same thing. So it's just me doing the same thing I've done before. I maybe got better, thank you. but yeah, so you refine things that you've done before, you get better at them, you refine your art, and it comes together. This was my little kind of note to self: hone in on home, because I was going to write a whole bunch, but I'm like, this is going to be a good summary. So hone in on home means figuring out where home is, like what's important and what matters. So I'm going to show you this one, Venus with Saturn. Let me do that now, and then we'll do the last section, and then I'll tell you about Jesus. Okay? Unironically, I'm telling you this, I'm very happy that, I found this information. I just want to take a sip of water, so you can screenshot this if you want. Okay. And then we're going to do things that may happen under Venus and Saturn. And then I will show you, tell you about Jesus. And then we'll do the all sign. Okay, so, and the Jesus part is really short. We've already talked about it. Maybe I'll make a Jesus playlist. Your atheist Jesus playlist. Unironic. I'm not making fun of it, but I think it's super interesting to kind of consider what happened and how. Okay, so speaking of Uranus, right, in Taurus, rethinking things through and refining them. So what may happen under Venus-Saturn conjunction? You may realize that you love someone. There's a lot of like heart-opening opportunities here where you figure out what really matters. We've already kind of talked about this. Some of you are going to realize that you're happy to be single. I've been having these kinds of realizations. I'm like, I've been seeing certain things go down between people. I'm like, whoa, I feel so good about, my life choices. My goodness. Okay, so committing to art or creativity. If you commit to a specific project of some kind, it's going to be probably very intense and very long. So prepare for that. But if it's coming up, there's some long-term projects that are emerging. So this is a time when you may get recognized for the work that you've already done. And so allow your work to be recognized. People may cheer you on or celebrate you. This is someone, when you're connecting with someone who's older, wiser, aspirational, inspirational for you, like somebody who you can look up to. So look for cool people around in your environment now. It's also a time of stripping down what doesn't work. And I guess people can get hurt in the process here, in relationships, but also in everything else. This is a focus also on elders. So focusing on your older family members, focusing on grandparents, reaching out, spending time with them, coming to realization about your relationships with them. And then also, last but not least, trust. Trust is so important here in this conjunction of Venus and Saturn. So figuring out where you trust, how you should trust, all those kinds of questions. Okay. So that is our last slide right here. And then we can talk about Jesus next. I'll get ready for it. I'm excited to tell you about Jesus. I was sad I didn't have time before. So September 30th. So I don't know if you guys know this, but I think I found the date of Jesus' birthday. It's right there in the chart. I'm going to switch over to, I have a slide for Jesus too, of course. Okay, so, okay. It's my best slide, by the way, because it has a little graphic. So, okay, so Jesus was born. There's some contention about when Jesus was born. This is something that I did last year. I came up with the date, the 29th or the 30th of September, 7 BCE. Now, the reason for this is not only astrological, it's also based on historical facts and like faith practices, cultural practices of the time. And I cross-reference those. I explain those in videos. Maybe I'll make a playlist, but it seems like the most plausible date that coincides with historical records, cultural practices of the time, but also the astrology. And one of the core features of this chart is the conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter. So in the story is the Star of Bethlehem that supposedly was the anchor point that guided people to the nativity of Jesus. And so what's interesting in this chart, I don't know if you know enough astrology to be able to pick it out, that is this event with Venus and Saturn and the North Node is happening in literally the same position. It's about 7 degrees off, but it's very, very close. And we've had a very similar event in 2022. And so when they said the Star of Bethlehem, I think that they were describing the conjunction, the great conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter. It's really a real possibility, which would make his date of birth in this time frame, September 29th and 30th. There's another date like October 7th, but that's less precise. This is the one that seems the most accurate. So it seems like it's possible that Jesus was born on September 30th, and that coincides with this event of the North Node, Saturn and Venus. And since this event is so special and rare, and the last one for 500 years, and it coincides with an even more rare conjunction. Let me show you the conjunction in 2022, if I can find it, because that was really beautiful. And then we'll do the all sign. I hope you guys had fun talking about this. This is the other thing, if you're new to astrology, this is a very monumental time in astrology. We're finishing up several things that have not ever happened before or won't happen again. Definitely not in our lifetime, but even maybe longer than that. So we're at the tail end of one set of energy and at the beginning of all this Aries and air and fire energy. And so this is kind of the Venus-Saturn conjunction with the North Node is kind of like the last one in Pisces. And Pisces is linked to spirituality, so it's very special. So here is a date for April 27th. I don't have the exact dates figured out here for today for you guys, but I just want to show you just to celebrate how special Pisces is. And you don't have to have Pisces placements to recognize this really special and sacred alignment. So around the end of April 2022, we had the conjunction of Jupiter, Neptune, and Venus. There's Mars and Juno, and the moon was there as well. And what's special about that is Jupiter and Neptune are the rulers of Pisces, the modern and traditional ruler, and Venus is exalted in Pisces. And what you don't see here, well, maybe I can show you. See, there's the conjunction of Venus and Jupiter in 2022 at 27 degrees of Pisces. That conjunction was one of only 5 in human history between Jupiter and Venus in this area. But the syzygy between Neptune, Venus, and Jupiter never happened before in human history. And so at that time in 2022, I suggested that someone special may be born. It might be a holy moment. And so therefore, this moment in 2025 is very special as well. I've been seeing a lot of reverberations astrologically to do with like the beginning of empire. Remember, the conjunction of Venus and the Sun in Aries coincided with the birth of the Roman Empire. So everything's sort of echoing like fundamental things to do with the Roman Empire, Catholicism, Christianity, and all of these like Western European themes. And so, or European, and they became global. So I think that there's something very significant and holy about this energy here. I don't want to jump to conclusions about what it is, but I just want to say that I think it's holy. I do think it's holy in some way. As a person who doesn't really believe in those things, right? But I think it's special. So just remember that you're living in a special time, even if it's kind of difficult and there's a lot of hardship. Okay, so why don't we pick a question? So some people requested that I have like questions for you guys when you guys want to answer in the comments. So today's question is, if you could invent a new ice cream flavor, what would it be? I like this question. This is a good question for today. So, and also mention your sun, moon, and rising in the comments if you're up for. And thank you to everybody who plays along. I think that's really fun. So yeah, I have fun with you guys. I would like invent like dill pickle ice cream. I'm sure somebody's invented it already, but something like that. Okay, so I'm just going to take the chart back and we'll do the all sign. Okay. Hi guys, I'm just looking at the chat. I had the chat off. Hi everyone, make sure to give me a like and a comment when you're done. Okay, so let's do the all sign. Okay, let's rock and roll. Let's see if I can, perfect. Okay, so let's rock and roll. I have this deck. Oh, I didn't grab the box. Hold on, because I know you guys like to know the box. This is the Dreams of Gaia Tarot, and this is the mini version. So I really like this deck. I think it's really beautiful. One of my favorite decks, I would say. Really, really like it. So I was going to zoom in. Maybe we can zoom in because they're small cards so you guys can see them. Okay, so let's pick our first. So we're going to talk about how this is going to affect your sign, what kind of blessings, what kind of opportunities are coming in. Okay, so we start with Leo, meow, meow. So remember, the next conjunction of Uranus and Saturn is in Leo. Very important. And I think that's why Leo energy is on the up and up. Let's see astrologically. But that's not till 2031 or 36 or something. It's a while before it happens. Okay, so let's take a look at this energy for you, Leo. So I'll pick 4 cards. Oh, I have 2. I have this one. This is the 8 of water, 7 of water, sorry. They have like 14 lower arcana. This is a different set. We have the 5 of fire. And then we have the 11 of air, you see? And then we have the 10 of cups, or 10 of water. I have a feeling that right away it seems as though you're ready to say something to someone. This is happening in your 8th house, and I've already predicted for you guys that it looks to me like you're going to be pretty feisty, meaning you're not going to put up with people's things like bad attitude. Nothing problematic, but if somebody is fighting around you, if somebody is causing harm, I think that it hits you in a very personal way, and you're deeply offended if something like this happens. I see you almost through this energy. I think this could be like a page of air, page of swords, you know, feisty, lashing out, not in a bad way, but just, I think that basically you're minding your business here with this 7 of water, and something abrupt comes up that is causing friction or fighting or something like that. The opposition of Pluto and Mars is in Leo. We'll talk about that in a separate video, but this may have to do with that. Someone from your environment, you know, trying to put pressure on you. And I think they're going to see a different side of you. I think that, you know, the one of the downloads that I'm getting for everyone is disengagement is much better at this time. I think that especially when you're dealing with a Pluto-Mars opposition and these kinds of energies, you don't want to waste your karma on people that don't matter. And then we have the 10 of, I think the outcome of your situation is really good. I see you changing things a lot right now, Leo. And this is for Sun, Moon, and Rising. Abrupt changes, a lot of change, a lot of, you know, a lot of transformation. And so I do feel like you're ready to take the next step. One thing I didn't mention, because I was trying to focus on just like the message for Pisces, but this Mars and Juno and Saturn grand trine is really quite beautiful, especially for you. I think it's you coming into your own and being like, this is how I'm going to be happy. And no matter how frustrating this situation may be for you, this outside influence of stress or toxicity, look, it's pulling you out of the 7 of water into the 10 of water, which means that you're in a state that is somewhat obscured, that you're not seeing things clearly. And this interaction kind of turns something on in you, and you become extremely resilient and powerful and kind of take something on that you've always wanted to, which is the 10 of water. So I think that with this 8th house sort of transit, it's a big moment. You know, be careful with your big decisions now, but do make them if you feel the need to. I feel as though you're almost holding back on something that you truly want, and an unexpected push-pull situation causes you to go after what you truly want. So Leo, you go for it, and meow meow, you do well. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye. Good luck. Okay, so next sign. Sun, Moon, and Rising. So we have Geminis next, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Let's take a look at Gemini. Gemini. Okay, so I'll pull some cards first for Gemini. Okay, so we have the 7 of air. And then we have the 5 of air. Look, all these air. We're stepping in. I mean, Jupiter is in Gemini. There's a pretty strong energy right now involving Sedna that just entered in Gemini last year. And then we have the 14 of air. Look at all this air. Lots of ideas. 7 of swords. 5 of swords. I think that you're holding off. And then we have the 4 of water. Okay? So what I get from the air up here, the 7 of air and the 5 of air, is that you are wanting to make some kind of a decision. But you've been, I think, pulling back on something. And I think that you've been not stepping into something that you really wanted to pursue intellectually with ideas. And because this is all happening in your 10th house, you keep on trying to make something real, but you pull back. And I think you're going to realize that your doubt is not exactly as well founded as you think it is, which means that you become more daring. You get the 4, and I think that this is the king of air, or like the 4 of the 4th court card of air. And I think that you're very ready for something in terms of ideas. You have something to bring into the world that's really, really powerful and beautiful. One of the things that's going to happen that you may want to prepare for right now is how it's ready to be received. Because sometimes you are there and ready, but are they ready to listen? Are they ready to hear what you have to say? Do they understand? So don't get dissuaded by people, sort of telling you, like pushing back on you. But that doesn't mean it's a bad idea. I think that you're meant to assert yourself in terms of this idea or this concept. And I think it's your time to, bring it out in the open. Jupiter is in Gemini for just a few more months now. You want to use this energy to kind of try things out, test things out, and try different possibilities. These transits are greatly powerful for your career and for your personal development. You're not going to get transits like this for a while. You do have Pluto coming over here. That's a different energy, and it's going to take a long time. In the present moment, the thing you've been holding back on is ready to be real. So step into that energy, and you might need to give it a little bit of time before it's received or before other people understand everything. So think about it this way. Whatever you've been thinking of, whatever you've been considering for such a long time, you've been thinking about it for as long as you have. And as you are showing it to other people, they now have to process the idea that you have been working through for such a long time. So you have to give it a little bit of time for other people to understand where you are coming from and what you need, or what you mean, excuse me. Okay, so let's see the next sign. So next is Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Let's take a look at your astrology, and I'll pull 4 cards for you guys today. Okay, so we have Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. The conjunction is happening in your 4th house for you, Sag. This has very lots of significance for older family members, anyone who's older than you or who's considered like the senior of the family. So parents, aunts, even yourself if you're one of the seniors. Then you have this. This is a higher arcana card from this deck, number 9. They have different names, so this is like learning or something. It's been a while since I've used this deck. But I read it by myself without, I've read the book, but I don't know. I don't remember too much of it. So we have the 7 of Pentacles, 7 of Earth, oops, sorry. Oh, look at this. You got a very nice card. So this is like the equivalent of the Queen of Pentacles. And then we have the 6 of Air. Okay. So I feel as though there's something that you are wanting to do, Sagittarius. There's something that you want to bring about that involves your family. This may have to do with money. This may have to do with trying to get other people on board, and it also involves saving money. There's something here involved saving money or trying to, kind of use what you have towards better outcomes. There's a person here, also the Queen of Earth, who's very important. She is a guide and a friend. Remember from the astrology, we had a lot of messages about being told, guided towards certain things. The Six of Swords is someone who's trying to help you understand how to make something happen. To me, it seems like, based on the astrology and the cards, that you're bringing something to your family as an idea, and together you are going to try to make that real. There could be a family member who's a Queen of Earth who is influencing this situation or helping to make it happen, or she is going to give you valuable information on how to do it. Some of you are going to be remodeling your home, making large changes to your home. There is a bit of a risk-taking element to the current transit, which means this is the time to sell our property and buy something else. I heard someone was talking about that, like a young person who moved to, I don't know which country, but it was in Central America, I think. And they were looking to sell their property and buy another one because they just really liked the process of building a house. So there's this energy here of going home and trying to get the approval of people and having like a plan or an idea that you want to make into reality and bringing your family in it together. And there's an element here of waiting a very long time for that to, not a very long time, sorry, but I meant, that sounds different than what I meant. It means doing something for the long run, such as saving money or trying to, trying to make a choice that would have far-reaching consequences, saving money, investing money towards something. And I do sense that there was a blockage, or there is a blockage with how to do it. And this is where this person comes in and they help you a lot. So good luck with that, and let me know what it is. And yeah, good luck with your projects. Okay, so next energy. Oh, Virgo's next. Sun, Moon, and Rising. Let's take a look at Virgo. Virgo. Virgo Sun. So for you, this is happening in the 7th house. So if you watch the astrology part of today's video, I think that that really has a lot to do with this energy. So relationships, specifically partnerships, business partnerships, love, marriage, big decisions with those kinds of things. Let's pick a card for you. So we have this is the King of Water, King of Cups. So this is a card that often coincides with making decisions about relationships. This could be a male or female, so if you date women, then by all means adjust this to whatever your life is. And then we have the nine of higher arcana. And then we have the King of Earth. So we have two kings, but they can be making decisions together also. Oh, I have to check this deck. Oh, I forgot. Okay, there's some nudity in this deck. So I need to, there's some cards I'm not going to show you. I'll just tell you about it. So I'm going to be checking the cards from now on. Then we have the 13. This is the card of love, I think. It's called Love. So it's not like in regular tarot. So it does feel as though people are making decisions, big decisions. There's consultations. Someone has an idea. When I was doing the astrology, there was this sense that someone has a brilliant idea to get married, to buy a house, to move in together. So this is kind of doubling up on that perception. So it seems as though one person may be taking an offer to another person. This may be also to do with work. So someone may come through to Kings Can Work Together, and the seventh house has a lot to work. This is about fine-tuning what is appropriate in work type situations. So yeah, it's about fine-tuning what's right and what's appropriate and what you feel comfortable with and what you don't. The same thing for relationships. Saturn in the seventh house can be considered a transit that people think, oh, it's not so good for relationships. But what you're essentially doing is taking out the bad and keeping what you want. And at this stage, when Saturn's in the last degrees of Pisces, you have a fairly good idea of what's right and wrong. And at this time, there could be powerful partnerships that emerge, both in relationships and in work type circumstances. The only reason I'm leaning towards relationships more is this card, which is a very genuine love that two people share for one another. And there's a trust, there's a fidelity there, you know. I didn't stress this in the beginning of the astrology, but the Saturn energy has a lot to do with trust, as I said, but it's about refinement, right? It's not necessarily about at first it feels like rejection or maybe some sadness in certain situations, especially if you're young. But after a while, you see the value in it to avoid bigger problems. You're making the right decisions now. So I feel powerful partnerships are available for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. There's major decisions. There's a teaming up sort of energy. Hey, let's do this together. There's a trust. It's like, I don't trust anybody else but you, so let's do this. There's like an idea, or somebody's been cooking something, you know, somebody's been figuring things out. Oh, this card is called learning. I remember this. I like the card. I read it for what it is. But there's a process of refinement and knowledge. Somebody's bringing something into the situation and something beautiful comes out of it. So there's someone who's reaching out to you, Virgo. There's a relationship that's emerging. Virgos, we like these cards, no? Like, these are much better than some of the other tarot cards that are giving us these intense messages. There's definitely, and this could be you, Virgo. This could be you as well, but this is you kind of being in your moment and finding solid ground in a relationship. And that can take you places, you know, so pay attention who's reaching out or who you feel inclined to. One of the messages in the astrology was reach out to people, do the thing that you want to do, the thing that's on your mind. Okay, so next sign. I was so excited to do this reading for you guys because to me it's such a sacred moment, and I don't mean to repeat myself so much about this energy, but like, it's really beautiful. And I don't think there's other things that will come, of course, but this is a real, you know, it's a special time. So I hope that you enjoy it, and I hope that you find beauty in it, and I hope you find inspiration towards the things that you want to do. This is a time, if something's on your mind, you should be doing it. You know, if something's, follow your passion, follow your desire. Okay, so we have Libra's next. Sun, Moon, and Rising. Okay, so we'll pull some cards for Libra. Libra, you have the 6th house. So yours, which is where the conjunction happened, this probably has a lot to do with like, do the thing, like I just said. Go do the thing that you want to do. Oh yeah, I can't show you this card because of nudity. I forgot that this I'm sorry. I don't really know how strict YouTube is now, so I have to censor. So we have 23. I think that's why I stopped using this deck. Not that I'm bothered by it, but yeah. There we go. It's just kid friendly. The next card is, I forgot. Then we have the Two of Earth, which is like, look, the Easter eggs in time for spring. And this is a higher arcana card. I was so taken aback by trying to cover up the nudity that I forgot to tell you. It's a 23 of higher arcana. And I think it's called Beauty or something. So it's justified, the picture. And then we have the 15. I love this one. This is like protection. Okay. So the dragon's protecting the person. Okay. And then you have the 3 of Earth. Okay. So I think that the 6th house has a lot to do with refined action. So do something over and over again and you get results. And I think that Libras are going to find great beauty in something. But yet there are certain paths that you still have to get over or get through to get to where you are going. So there's this two of Pentacles, 2 of Earth energy where you're still at the starting gate with something, but this is telling you to do it. So what I think it's actually saying is that you may have something in front of you. One of the major themes of astrology was taking up some kind of commitment towards some kind of outcome. And you have something ahead of you that you want or that you desire. And I think that you're maybe hesitant to do that because of the amount of work. And sometimes, you know, when you're starting your career or doing things that you want to do, the question mark is, if I put the effort in, is this going to be a return for me? And I think this was a reality for everybody who was a millennial and younger, that like, if you invest so much time in school or a job, is it going to yield some kind of outcome? The previous generations had more guarantee. If I just go to work and start at an entry-level job, then it'll take me up to a higher level, and I want to work in this kind of industry, so I'll work my way up. But I think starting with the millennials, there was this question mark because there wasn't that expectation anymore. So this reminds me, this hesitancy reminds me of that apprehension that starting with the millennial generation, or maybe even Gen X, people started asking questions like, if I put my time, because time is the most valuable thing you have, in this direction, is it gonna, what's the guarantee, right? And so I think that there's this question mark, but this card is saying that you're protected. I love this card. It's almost like a guardian spirit is watching over you. And then you have this card, which to me signifies that this beautiful thing that you're inspired to do, Libra, it leads to the 3 of Earth. So you're gonna get yourself towards 3 of Pentacles is the work card in tarot. And so this is getting you to the energy of, you know, doing the thing that you want to do. So in short, I think that you see something of beauty, but you question its possibility in your life, whether you can make it or, you know, make it happen. And I think that part of the question lies in the fact that it's that you're still at the starting gate with something. And so this is an energy that is telling you to go pursue that, go do that thing. You are protected. There's like a protection energy over you, and it's going to yield for you a positive outcome. So that's what I think that the 6th house is. It has to be the thing that you find so beautiful, the thing that you love to do, or the thing that you're inspired by. Okay. So go do the thing that you love, and you will become the thing here, this thing, this 3 of Earth. Okay, so you're going to get there. And to me, I get this really warm feeling when I see this card in terms of the astrology. There's a real protective energy here. And yeah, it's a very nurturing, very protective, very kind energy. Okay, so let's see the next sign. And we have Cancers next, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Let's take a look at Cancer. Sun, Moon, and Rising. Hi, Cancers. I got quiet. I started tuning in for Cancer. Sorry. Okay, so let's take a look at your cards. We have the 11 of fire. So that's like the page of fire in a regular deck. And then we have the 3 of air. This is knowledge and learning, which is in line with where this conjunction is. And then we have the 3 of fire, or excuse me, the 8 of fire. You're going to find something really beautiful, Cancer, like a new topic of study or something you find deeply inspiring. And then we have the 2 of fire. Look at these. You're fiery, Cancer. Wow, you're ready for it. And since Mars is about to move into the second house, I think it's going to yield positive money outcomes for you. So what I think is going on in your 9th house is that you've been studying something with a deep intensity. There's a studying, looking for an answer, maybe finding the wrong answers, but I think that you're going to find a field of study or something that you find interesting. This doesn't have to be university. This can be like your own personal study. And I think that you're going to be very inspired by what you find. It's going to be like, oh, this is really beautiful. Venus here is inspiring. It's a powerful position for Venus. It's a powerful position, and Saturn is almost like dad or grandpa watching over to make sure that the thing that you've initiated has great success. Then we have the 8 of Wands, and so this is a Jupiter house, and so to me, I know this is Mercury. This card is ruled by Mercury and Sag, but to me, this is very much a 9th house card. This is because it's inspiring. So it's almost like a firework. Suddenly you find something that you've been looking for. It opens up your eyes. It opens up your heart. And you have these visions. Powerful. I see that you're going to find something that is going to be so beautiful. It's an idea, or it's something to research for those of you who want to research, or it's maybe travel. It has to do with looking for an answer. It has to do with looking for an answer for something, and that suddenly opening up for you, and you know which way to go. I know Cancers have been struggling with this 10th house issue, and so maybe this is the moment at which you figure out what you're going to do. And there's a nuance here with this syzygy that has to do with Saturn entering Aries. I think a lot of the things that people are finding, not just Cancer, I mean everyone else, it's almost like opening the door to long-term things. It's likely that maybe you find an answer to your job circumstances, and that allows you to in some way figure out, how do I say this? It's like a long-term strategy to figure out your workplace issues, Cancer. So, it might it's almost like with Saturn here, what I'm getting is I know what to do. And maybe pay attention when Venus is in Aries. She's going to be there very soon for a couple weeks. Use that time. If this means changing jobs, this might be your time to break out. I think you might see some of you, we'll talk about Pluto-Mars opposition soon, but there might be an event that comes up that's shocking and unexpected that you may be reacting to at work. Like there could be something that shows up. Pluto and Mars are in your money houses. So there could be like unexpected, change, or suddenly it might not be to do with you. It could be they sold the business or some drastic change. But Saturn here to me seems very good. It seems like you're coming to some kind of conclusion or realization on how to solve your problems. And I would say use the next 3-4 weeks as much as you can to change that circumstance and make it fit whatever you need to. And if it's not your career, then it could be like a social situation. It's time for you to assert yourself, but it comes on the heels of finding an answer with Venus and North Node and Saturn. Very, very nice. I'm very happy to see this for you guys. I think that's a very good energy. Okay, so we have 6 more to do. I was going to say something. Leave a like and a comment. That was one. If you feel like it, no pressure, besties. I'm working really hard over here, guys. Hi. Okay, so let's do the next energy. I forgot I was going to say something else. Oh, that's okay. Being tuned in, and I'll take a sip of water. Maybe I'll check in with everyone in the comments. Hi, guys. We have a lot of people. Let's get me to 100 likes. Let's do it. Thanks, guys. Nice to see you. I hope you're having fun. I'm really excited about this energy. So I think this is something to be, yes, exclamation mark. Okay. Next sign here. So in the last video, I found this thing. I had this before. I bought it. We have Winners in Canada. I bought it at Winners. But there was, it's kind of like Marshalls or TJ Maxx in the US. So I got this. It's a Canadian store. And so in the last video, I found it and I pulled it out and I was laughing, but I put a video over top so you guys didn't see it. So I think it's fun. Okay, so let's see. Capricorn's next, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Oh. Okay, so Sun, Moon, and Rising Capricorns. I'll switch the chart in a minute. I'm on the cards. So we have the 9 of Earth. And then we have the 3 of Fire. And then we have the 12 of Trumps. This is beauty or love too. I like this one too. Oops. I have cards jumping around. And then we have the last one, but not least. Oh, I like this. This is like the Gatekeeper. I don't remember the name of this card. This is the 12 of Earth. This is like the Knight of Earth. Oh yeah, the Gatekeeper. Do you see their keys from their earrings or from their hair? Oh yeah, the Gatekeeper. Oh, very nice. And very Capricorn energy. You've got the power. Okay, so let's see. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Let's see your astrology here. So you have the conjunction in the 3rd house. I remember what I saw for you guys. Improvement in social relationships in your neighborhood. You might get very popular and very sought after in terms of your energy. We have the 9 of Earth. Money is allowing you to have new prospects. So the money you've accumulated and the growth that you've had financially is allowing you to have various different opportunities unfold in front of you. You might take different trips or broaden your horizons. I think that this is straight for the 3rd house. I think very strong relationships around you in your social environment. But I think that you're unlocking something, sorry for the pun, but you're unlocking something towards a very prosperous future. You're broadening your horizons. You're going somewhere else. Maybe a new neighborhood in front of you. This is coming through. So we have the 5 of Air. Look, these cards are so beautiful. Like I said, I've read the book. I don't remember because I don't use it very much because of the nudity. So I can't use it on YouTube very easily. But they're such beautiful cards, and they, to me, like in terms of like, there's YouTube reading and there's real astrology and tarot, right? Like real astrology and tarot isn't so succinct, isn't so well edited and articulated. It's a lot of ums and like, let me think about that, you know? It's a lot of like sitting with the energy. We have to perform a little bit for YouTube and for social media, but these kinds of cards trigger my intuition a lot. They're so beautiful, and like the system is nice. It's a very nice, they did a great job with this deck. I can't say enough nice things about it. But yeah, so I think this is about connecting with a deeper truth within yourself. And I think that material conditions, which is that I haven't been focusing on Uranus, but for you it stands out. Material conditions are greatly improving that are going to facilitate for you to change certain things. I think you're going to go and do different things because you have more money or you have more resources. And I think that there's some kind of very loving energy around you. Maybe siblings, because it is third house, or people near you in your neighborhood. It might be something else, but it just does feel like a lot of love. I did mention this for another sign, and I haven't mentioned it since, but it stands out in your chart specifically. Saturn at the end of Pisces is creating a trine to Mars, and that creates a trine to Juno in the 11th house. Friendships, there could be love potential in your friendships, or sincere connections, Capricorn. And this gatekeeper energy, the earth, you're just about to unlock something for yourself. Saturn over your IC, this is fundamental. This is like, see, when I see this guy, Jasio idzie przez las, z worka niesie, piasek leci dziura w worku. I'm trying to remember this poem about Yash, who's going through the forest, and from his little, and I think this is why I fell in love with this deck, because it has this nursery rhyme thing, and it's all about this boy who's going through the forest, and he has a hole in his little sack and the grain is falling out of the sack, right? So this reminds me of this, but to me this is like packing it up and going somewhere. And when Saturn crosses your IC like this, now it's going to be here for a minute, there's a real powerful self-awareness that you are reaching with what's important for you. So you may turn your back on some things and, you know, go pursue something. Maybe you tap into someone who you really love. The 4th house is there, you know. Maybe a deeper connection with your partner or with your family. There's a emphasis shifting, you know, towards that. But what I got from this is material conditions, which is the 9 of Pentacles, are very good for you here. 9 of Pentacles, creating material conditions, money. You have money to go change your life right now, to go and do that thing that you wanted to do. And so now you're here. It's about for you. It's a choice. Remember, these choices are long reaching, but it looks very good. Big choices, maybe love with an earth sign. Oh, hello, Capricorn. So we have love with an earth sign. And it being a knight, it can be a woman as well. If you date women, if you love women, that's fine. But it's a knight energy, so kind of energetic, full of energy. Okay. And then we have, so I think abrupt changes, material conditions, improvements. You have the money for change and you take a route. And then there's this powerful connection between Saturn, Mars, and Juno. And it's right in your relationship houses. So I think that a lot, maybe you and your partner decide to buy a house. Maybe this is the energy here, the 4th house. You're taking something forward, something that you've always wanted to do, and it has a very affirming, and I get with this card, I feel like very much that whole energy of closing the door behind you and going in a new direction. Very, very beautiful. Okay, so very nice. I feel like you've been waiting for this for a really long time, Capricorn. So it's like something that it's not a surprise. Like you've been waiting for it for a long time, and you're very happy you're very happy it's here. So congratulations. The next energy is, so we have Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Sun, Moon, and Rising, Aries. Oh, shoot. Okay. I slept on my pillow wrong, and I kind of hurt my neck. I'm fine, but I thought, I said, oh shoot, just in case like some of you are worried. It's just, I hurt my neck a little bit, but it's fine. It's not even bad. Okay, so Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So we have you've got the only ace so far. Ace of Earth, the dragons. I have to censor these cards because they have nudity. And then, you have a double dragon. Double dragon. Look at that. Okay. So, wow. Aries. And then we have the Two of Earth. So, double aces, change of places, change of home, or change of work. Aries. And then you have the Eight of Fire. You're considering a change, and with this card, I think this change is going to be good. Of course, you have the natural chart, lucky Aries. And so this means that this is happening in your 12th house. And I think that you're feeling a little bit skeptical about taking a risk or a chance at something. But I think you're going to be, the more you do this or go that direction, the more that you will feel in your energy, the more that you will feel empowered by the energy, and that you will fly. Two aces, the water and the earth energy, have a lot to do with changes around you. Some of these changes may be happening below the surface because it's in the 12th house. But yeah, there would be changes. And at first, whatever's changing is going to go slow. The energy shifts from Pisces now into fire, into Aries. And there's this kind of like a train starting. Like a train doesn't speed up right away. It goes slow, faster, faster. And so that's what I see here. So the beginning is powerful but slow, but then it picks up speed, and then it gets better. Whatever you're considering, and this could be in your private moment because it's in the 12th, privately you are considering this. Whatever you have a vision of for yourself, it's going to lead to really bright abundance. Especially for my artists out there, I can't encourage you enough not to to go pursue the art. Go pursue the art. Go pursue your passion. Take it out. If you've been practicing art, practicing some kind of a painting in privacy, this is your time to bring it out into the open. This is your time to shine. This is your time to bring forward the energy. This is the time for change all around you, Aries. Yeah, and when we're looking again at the grand water trine between Saturn and Mars and Juno, there is a profound shift, a shift to your environment, a shift to I'll be honest, some of you are getting a divorce, but it's going to be a liberating force. It's a long time coming. Nobody's getting divorced that wasn't expecting it. Okay. So there is this moment, very much is possible, a divorce, and that sets you free and lets you have what you really wanted in life. Anyway, I think that this is a very powerful moment, and now I'm looking at the trine or sextile, between Pluto and Neptune, and it's holding. So it's that slow train is picking up a big change, but maybe hidden. Big changes here. And it's in the earth and water, affecting relationships and money. So it could be work or it could be love. Very, very powerful moment. Nobody else got aces like this. But I think you're getting these powerful aspects in Aries now. So who knows? you're going to be taking in a lot of energy. We'll explore each one step by steps to make it very, very easy for people. We're almost there. My goal today wasn't to go fast, but I actually went fast anyway. I've been practicing because I've been making these edited videos, right? So I think that I've just become more succinct or something. I don't know. I hope you're having fun watching this. I thought the astrology was just spectacular. I hope you like the way that I told you it, but when I was getting it ready for you guys, I was like, this is so beautiful. Like this energy is so beautiful. Okay, so next we have Aquarius. Hey, Aquarius buddies. Hi, my little weirdos. How are you doing? And let's see how you are. Sun, moon, and rising. And then, the money house. Hey. Hey, girl, hey. How are you? Hey. Okay, so we have the, let me take a drink of water. I only have a little bit. I have to what is the word? Space it out. Okay, Aquarius, your conjunction or syzygy is happening in the second house of money. So this is very, very prosperous. Okay, so we have the 4 of air. Very methodical energy. Have you perfected the perfect plan? Have you established the perfect... This makes me think of someone who has lined up, you know how they would line up dominoes in these elaborate schemes, and then they would push them and one would fall into the other and it would just unfold into something very elaborate and exquisite. This is what this card reminds me of. I think this card is called Time. It's the 4 of air, but it's perfected. It's a very Virgo card, actually. Perfected and perfect alignment, almost like architecture or drafting, where you have to draw perfect lines and make everything just really pristine. Then we have the 9 of fire, and then we have the 13 of air. I had a very powerful download just now. That's why I made a funny noise. Okay. And then we have the 9 of air. Okay. So the download that I got, and I think it's for you, is for you to do by yourself what you really honor what is calling for you, what is calling, you are meant to do something. And I think that maybe you've gotten everything organized in the right way, but maybe you are doubting yourself whether or not you should do it. There could be questions. And so the download was very strong, do not doubt yourself. If there are certain things in the way that are challenges, then those things will get worked out. And it's the bigger picture that's important. So if you have an aspiration, especially to do with money, especially with how to make money or how to build something up for yourself, you may have questions about some of the details, Aquarius, but the outcome is going to be very beautiful. That was a very, very strong message for you guys. If you don't know, I have an Aquarian moon, so I get very strong messages. My moon is on the cusp of Pisces, so I get strong messages for Pisces and Aquarian. I do, so it's good. So I think the message is very strong that there's a sense of doubt in a situation, how do I say, that a situation, questioning whether or not it's too far-fetched or if it's for you, but I think that you should. So we have the Queen of Air here. Now this could be a man or a woman, but we have the Queen of Air. Figuring out, putting it into practice. It's just the beauty of design, seeing, this is the 9 of air, precisely seeing how to do something, how to achieve something. And then we have the 9 of fire. Okay. whatever you have figured out is a great idea and you should pursue it. Whatever you have sitting on the back burner, you should pursue it. This could involve a partnership with someone else, and it might lead to great success. So you might need the perfect partner to be able to achieve this. And because you can't do it by yourself, so there may be an element of working with someone else towards this goal. But I think that yeah, there's a specific thing that you want to achieve. And there's a very strong cleverness that you are that you may be taking for granted. So you may not realize the idea that you have, how powerful and how inspiring it is. I'm just thinking, sorry. I think that moving forward in a certain direction will require that there is a change that is made in your environment or the other person's environment. And so the question is this an appropriate use of time and energy? I think it is. Whatever you're coming to realize right now, whatever your inspiration is towards the goals that you want to achieve, they're the right path for you at this time. And I think that it involves something close to home. So this could be, it almost feels like, let's say that you go work in a city, like you work in a city, but you live in the suburbs. This is not necessarily working from home, but being closer to your home to do with work, like shifting something around so it's much closer to you, much closer. Okay. And involves someone else, somebody who has very strong thoughts. If it's not you, then it's someone around you. Very, very strong mind, very strong thoughts. Very, very smart person. Okay. Maybe an air sign too. Another air sign, you and another air sign. That would be powerful. Okay, so let's see the next sign. We have Scorpios next. Sun, moon, and rising. Let's take a look at Scorpio energy. Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising. Okay. Sun, moon, and rising, Scorpio. So we have the Two of Air. Now this conjunction is happening in your 5th house, Scorpio. That's a lot to do with relationships. And this syzygy or conjunction, syzygy just means there's 3 transits together. And I don't know if the North Node with Venus and Saturn is considered a syzygy or if it has to be a physical object. That's why I keep pulling back on that term. But anyway, in the 5th house, a lot of this conjunction has to do with love, and for you it's in the 5th house, so this is about love, it's about relationships. Let's see the messages. We have the 7 of Earth, and then we have the 8 of Fire. This card, I'm not surprised that this card is coming up because there's a lot of passion. There's a lot of like feeling inspired to go and do something. And so whatever you feel inspired to do, you should pursue it. Oh, this is the psychic one. This is the 7 of Fire. The visions, look at her. She's scrying. Do you see that in the Lotus? Oh, these cards are great. Okay, so Scorpio. So it's in the 5th house of relationships. Some of you are going to have visions about love and about where love is coming to. One of the parts of this aspect is not only the love that you have, but it's reconfigures how you feel about love. So this energy, what was the word we said? deconditions us, emotionally deconditions us from having certain expectations and beliefs. So you know how women and men, but specifically little girls, really had an issue for a long time with being conditioned into like mother roles and, you know, very narrow definitions of what it means to be a woman. And a lot of women, particularly starting with the Pluto and Virgo generation, right? Like you guys really carried that torch, unpacked what it means to be like a woman and become, maybe you became mothers and then maybe your marriages broke up and then you started questioning whether or not like what it all means. And then you taught us, the younger generations. And so, so I applaud you for that. I'm usually tough on Pluto and Virgo, but I think your generation did really amazing things for us in terms of, you know, this kind of independence as women. And so this deconditioning of expectations on relationships for men and women both, of course, changes our like the vision of what's possible. And when you change the vision of what's possible, what kind of relationships you want and what you really want, I think that it opens up the door for you for many different things. And I think that that's maybe what's happening for many Scorpios, as opposed to like, it could be a relationship, but then there's those of you who are single or who are, for whom that isn't applicable, the relationship aspect. And so what I see here is this kind of opening of the heart and seeing relationships from a different perspective, or seeing love from a different perspective, or seeing what matters from a different perspective. Sorry, I'm shuffling around because I've been sitting in the same position for a minute. But yeah, so just kind of changing your mind on things, on what's important and where to and where to put the focus, in which direction. And then we have the 2 of air and the 7 of earth. And I feel as though there's a piece that's coming over your mind in terms of the decisions you must make. The 5th house is also the creative house. And so in terms of the things that you want to achieve and the directions that you want to take, I think that there's questions about how to put that into action. And the 7 of Pentacles is like a methodical practice of how to make things happen. Like, what am I functionally going to do to bring about the results that I want? The 2 of air is possibly before having some doubt or lack of information to decide on how to go about doing certain things. But as we shift towards the fire energy now, I think you will functionally start figuring out how to make your artistic projects or other types of projects work. The 5th house is creative. It's Leo's house, right? The sun. And so it influences you to start to bring about realization of what's like creative endeavors, and creativity doesn't have to be art. It could be whatever creativity is for you. There's something that you are thinking about, Scorpio, that you've wanted to make, you know, and there's been questions about how to make that happen. And I think the 7 of Pentacles is money coming in for like a long-term goal and knowing how to make it happen. And then your passions ignite and you understand the world from a different perspective. That's what these cards are. You understand like the world from a different perspective. You know how to, you just understand it a little bit better. And so there's a lack of clarity, the 2 of air, that's transforming into practical knowing. And I think that there's an increase of money, not a lot. It's like Saturnian, right? Because Saturn's moving into the 6th house. So but it's enough to achieve your goal. So like if you invest the money that you're getting now, you're going to be able to do what's on your mind, which is great. So expand your vision. The vision is coming to you. Expand your heart. This could be a deepening of a relationship as well for you guys in the 5th house. So broadening of the horizons, you know. accepting, like understanding your love on a deeper level, that all that kind of stuff. But very inspirational, Scorpio, very kind of like, this is what I love and this is what beauty is in my life. Okay, so good luck. And then we have two more. I felt that was weird. That one was a little weird, but I'm just going to go with it. It's going to land somewhere, right? Like, okay, so here is the next sign. Sometimes they come out like that and I'm just like, and I doubt myself and I'm like, okay, this is weird. But then someone leaves me a comment. It's like, yes, Veroosh, this is like perfect. It's just for me. I'm like, okay, good. That makes sense then. It made someone happy. Okay, Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. Okay, so I got this download. Don't go against yourself. Maybe that's for Scorpio. Don't go against yourself. Maybe it's a message of, you know, not going against yourself. Okay, so some cards for Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. Let's see what you have. You have this Nine of Pentacles, money. And the conjunction is in your 11th house. Very, very nice. And then we have the Nine of Trumps. So this was our study. This came up a lot. This kind of study buddy card. Okay, let's see the next energy. And then you have the Two of Fire, which is vision. Oh, Lilith's in your 7th house now. Ooh. Okay. And then we have the Four of Trumps. Okay. So in this deck, the first cards have a lot to do with like age. You start as a baby and then you become mature. I believe this is like midlife or something, middle age. So it's not necessarily, it might be, it could mean like the emperor, but I don't think so. I think it could be the empress too. It could be one of those. Sorry about my lack of specificity here. Okay, so Taurus's thing is, I kept telling you, wait and see, because there's something in your friend group that's worth salvaging. Remember? Because there's this real feeling of you want to walk away from certain people and certain situations. And I think that under this energy, you're beginning to really see the value in someone. Maybe this is the person. But there's some kind of inspirational connection. This always reminds me of the Never-Ending Story when the knight walks by the sphinxes and they shoot laser beams. This card always reminds me of that part of the movie. But you have, yes, so there's definitely an energy of, or maybe this is you, someone is inspired by you, or there's some kind of observation that is happening. An observation that is happening, something that is being offered, that is being revered. There is, I feel as though that there's some longer term consequences for the energy now. It feels like somebody, this is Nine of Pentacles, someone has something to offer. It could be you. And maybe people around you see that in you and they see your value. And this is something that will be with you for a long time. Or maybe this is what you see, because the vision I had for Taurus before was there was a group of people and there was one person who was kind of, Tauruses were sort of walking away from the group of people because they were being annoying, for a lack of a better word. And there was someone who was looking over the shoulder and kind of made the Taurus second guess walking away. Like there was something in that situation for them. That was the vision. And so I feel like that's what this is describing, that you find the thing that was making you stop and wait. And so whatever this is, and this to me, if it's that middle age sort of moment, I think you have an insight through your friendship groups into something that will be with you for a while. And I think that you see true value in a situation, not just playing games or, mucking about. This is something that is deeply inspirational. Oh, I was waiting for this moment. That's the kind of message that's here. Like, I was in this situation this long for this to come about, Lilith in the 7th house, though, be very careful of any manipulative behaviors, because I'm getting a love vibe here, Taurus. So be careful of manipulative behaviors or rushing at love or rushing at a situation too fast. This is nothing to do with Lilith. This is all good stuff. But Lilith is in your 7th house. By the way, I forgot to do a video on Lilith in Scorpio. We'll do this. Because of the eclipses, there was we'll catch up on all these readings one after the other, but we'll do a all sign on Lilith and we'll break it down bit by bit. But for you, I think it's important because there could be, how do I say this? There could be the real deal. There could be the Holyfield, but there could be some kind of seducer. There could be some kind of this is not talking about this at all, but I feel as though there's whispering and, there's something mildly threatening, or maybe something that is misleading or not the right path. But there is the right path in your friend group, and I think you'll see it. And I think that you're seeing value, and I think you understand why you've been around it so long. Okay? So good luck with that. It's like he's saying oh, I found it. oh, I found it. Get him. And then it's like, look at my butterfly. I love these cards. They're so oh, she's holding I thought it was a butterfly in a bowl, but her necklace is a butterfly and she's holding an obsidian or something, which is the rock or the crystal of psychic things. So there's a psychic connection. This is a person of value, third eye lit. And then there's someone's oh, I almost walked away, but then I see this, there's value in that. Okay. Value. Okay. So here is the next message. Last but not least, let's get weird, Pisces. Let's do it. I hope you guys had fun. Sun, moon, and rising. Hi, Pisces. I'm tuning in. So it's nice that you're last, not because, you need to go last, but it's such a momentous event. I'm going to take a sip of water. Last sip of water, last sign. I hope everybody who's watching had fun. So we have the 6 of air. And then we have the 7 of water. And then we had the 6 of water. Ooh, Pisces. You found, oh, okay. And then you have, 8 of earth. I was kind of apprehensive about the last card, but I like this. So I think you've been waiting for a way through a situation. I think that there's been some degree of a lack of clarity, which is this 7 of water. But I think that what's emerging under this energy is clarity about your purpose and about the direction you need to go. So that's emerging. And I think that there is this, there's going to be financial outcomes. You're already stacked in the second house. You're going to have a big financial improvement, turnaround time, and growth. There's an element of leaving something behind, maybe a version of yourself that you're leaving right now. The part at the beginning where I talked about the astrology, there was this closing of the door. And so you're closing of the door and you're moving forward. There was a period in which that door was closing and you were moving forward into the unknown. This reminds me of Pisces, except there's 3 fish and not 2, but you were stepping into the unknown. It was sort of like a dream state where it didn't make perfect sense. But then there was something coming through with deep clarity. This is almost like, this looks like somebody reaching in through a dream and offering, like a spirit guide, offering you something, offering you insight, saying that this is the way. So look for spirit guides around you or someone who's pointing the way. And the outcome is going to be financially very good for you, Pisces. We have the 8 of Earth. So there's a lucrative financial outcome to where you are going. Sun in Virgo. Material growth, I think part of it for Pisces, I sense, was anxiety. Anxiety, that things were not going to work out, that things were... that you didn't know how it was going to come together. And so this is really reassuring that doubt, the financial, it's almost like the emotional stuff you got down packed, you have it figured out, but it's the other things that kind of leave questions in your mind and maybe you feel less confident about solving. And so this feels very sure-footed and very sure of themselves. You know the path that you're on and you're going forward. And that's the Aries. So I think money's going to really come to crystallize for you. It's going to come together for you in a very practical way. And I think that right now you're going through a personal closure of an aspect of yourself, something. I have a feeling that this is connected to things that really hurt in the past. So, like very difficult situations that you are now overcoming. And the question is, who am I? I'm not saying that you have this situation, but let me explain what is coming to mind. When people have trauma, I'm not saying you have trauma. When people have trauma for a long time, and they come out of it, then they can question who they are after the trauma has ended, because they were in that traumatized state that affects their behavior and affects their mental state and emotions, right? And so when they come back to baseline and they come out of the circumstances, the feelings, they can feel like, who am I now? After, because for some people it's decades that have lasted that they have been in a traumatized state. And so this is what this is reminding me of, not necessarily that you have trauma, but this circumstance you have left behind, and you are stepping into the present moment. You are stepping into the present moment with a question mark, who am I in this place? And what is this place, right? So there was this moment, and I think it's more in the past. I think it's, this side of the North Node. There was this question mark of where, what is this place? What is now? And who am I? And I think that you're going to have some kind of, somebody's coming to you, or someone's coming to you with information or insight. Somebody's here to show you the way, and the direction is going to be good. So if you're worried about money, I think money is going to be very good, and I think it's very stable and secure. Okay? So I hope you guys had fun. I had fun doing it. Maybe I should put that in all my thumbnails. I wasn't expecting it to be so big. Because I'm sorry. Okay, guys. You guys, I hope you had fun. I had fun doing this with you guys today. Thank you for watching. Oh, that was fun. Okay, bye. See you soon. Take care.